But I'm going to get into these woods before another car drives by. For hammock camping, you really have to choose your trees specifically. I'm a little close to the drive-through here, but those are the trees that line up best for the distance of the hammock. And it'll be dark in a couple of hours, so I just have to lay low a little bit here. I think this should work fine. If there were more leaves on the trees, I'd be happier, but it's a little late in the season. There's a couple trees here that should work. I hope. They're claiming it might rain soon, so I really want to get this just set up so I can keep out of the rain if necessary. And one of the first things I'll do, I'm just going to walk up there in the daylight and just kind of see what it looks like, obviously, before I get too entrenched here. And from here, the drive-through is right up there. And I'm just getting my composure here, catching my breath. And it is muggy today. It's not very cold, but it's certainly humid. I probably should be okay. Most people are focused on getting their order from the drive-thru, not looking beside it, right? Way too many people just pulled up so casually, walk into the woods like nothing's happening. It's a little bit visible from down there, but nothing too bad. The sun will be going down in a couple of hours, and everything will be nice and dark. You won't see a thing. You know, just gotta stay still. Their vision is based on movement. That's a very popular drive-through. So anyway, today's Step 2 was proudly sponsored by viewers like you. It's a Trailer Park Boys themed one, with a documentary of those guys of Nova Scotia. And I'm out in Nova Scotia right now. This one's Bubbles Orange Tabby. Yeah, because a cough in the middle of the woods is so much stealthier than the sound of a cracking beverage in the woods. You can taste the orange. Can't taste any tabby. That's good. And oh, I hope the police don't come through this drive-through to get coffee. Could pose an issue. And there's some rain beginning, so I'm just going to get my backpack and stuff kind of underneath it here. I'm going to get the meal started because it's going to take a long time to cook. I'll tell you more about that as soon as I get this stuff tucked away. It's been really dry here all summer. There were fire bans galore. They've taken those off, but it's still really dry. So I don't want to use so much as a camp stove. There's all these dry leaves around. And sometimes when I've used camp stoves and fires, there's been some minor explosions and fire shoots out here and there. We don't want a problem like that to occur. So I'm using hand warmers to warm up some pre-cooked meat. We got a whole bunch of hand warmers. They claim to get to 150 some odd, 158 Fahrenheit. Now, I'll use that to warm up this pre-cooked convenience Mexican style chicken. Tinga, I don't know. All I know is it is pre-cooked. It's in a little pouch. And this, on its own, would be safe to eat cold because it's already cooked. It's been kept nice and refrigerated. So I'm going to throw this into a small cooler with a ton of hand warmers, and we'll be having some chicken tacos tonight. These little things, oxygen powered, they heat right up. It's basically just rust and maybe a little salt in there or something. It interacts with the oxygen, starts to rust really fast. That gives off the heat that we'll need to make this meal delicious, because I want a warm, moist taco tonight. Perfect. This little insulated bag is loaded with these hand warmers and the pre-cooked chicken. And I'm going to throw in a can of this Mexican corn medley, just to try and heat that up a little bit too. It's not going to get hot enough to make the can explode, but if you're cooking this way, you don't want to shut it like completely. It needs the oxygen to flow through. But I experimented with this last time. I was filming this exact same video, kind of, on the other side of the road, and they wouldn't stop playing that loud copyrighted music, which YouTube will shut the video down and give me a copyright strike. So I had to come back and try it again. But last time, yeah, these hand warmers actually warmed it up really good. So I know this should work, and I spared no expense on putting a lot of them in there. It's getting a little bit darker, and I'm going to get up while this food cooks right there. And I'll pick up a little bit of garbage, because it is alongside of drive-through, and there's some no good nicks out there. They're throwing their empties and garbage right over the edge of this hill here. And fortunately, there's garbage cans right up there, so we're just going to take care of that. Wait for things to dim down a bit and get a little bit stealthier and darker. I'm not going to be able to clean all this up, but I'm going to make a dent. I'm going to see what time that lobby's open until at this Tim Hortons. I don't see a sign on the door with the hours, so it actually might be open 24/7. Sometimes they like to close at 11, and I hate prime numbers. They look so abrasive. You can't even divide them by anything. Okay, let's go. Something's going down. I get a little paranoid sometimes, but it did take me a few years to realize the police aren't going to come pulling up on a stealth camping situation with their sirens going. They normally just send an outreach crew or something. So fortunately, we haven't had any of those issues yet. Okay, those were the heavies. Police are very busy, of course, so they don't just sit in a coffee shop, thankfully. Yeah, my heart's pounding a mile an hour here. Whew, okay. That rain in the forecast never came, so we're doing great so far. Oh, I think it's going to rain. As far as rain and storms, the hammock really is a great thing. It keeps all the rain off you and your gear, and you just kind of hang out underneath of it, staying as cozy as you possibly can. And the rain is great because that gets on people's windows and windshields, so they can't even see out their windows really good right now. The rain is going to make things so much easier for me in some ways.
Nizzle value. Grand bubbles for an uplifting taste.
The 4-in-1 Table and Easel by Fisher-Price does this. 1. Helps them do this. Encourages that. Perfect for pint-sized painters. You're gonna need a bigger wall. Creativity that grows as they grow.
Nature's Bounty provides relief from common menopause symptoms in just one small pill per day.
Introducing the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer with room for the whole family.
And room to make a family. That's right. This baby was named the best car to have sex in. But by a real website.
Bringing innovative STEM learning experiences to more regions of Pennsylvania than any other cyber school. PA Cyber's Polytechnic Mobile Lab delivers everything your student needs to take their ideas from computer screens to robotic machines. PA Cyber, changing the future of education.
It is so cozy underneath of this thing. And there's pretty much one angle there that people are lined up that their headlights are pointing right at me. So I'm just not looking. According to the radar, there is going to be a lot more rain than I was expecting, and I was not expecting any thunder, lightning. So this is a strange thing for this late in the year, but I'll take it. Late summer storm, early autumn storm. Now you're camping with Steve. It almost feels unsafe. It's coming down, which is good news. Rain is very needed around here. Glad I'm under this hammock instead of using the cot tonight. I gotta tighten this rain fly. It's really catching some water here. And this is the worst possible time to try and go out and do it. Seems like it's letting up a bit, so I'll fortify the fly and then just back to hunkering down because it's unsustainable for any length of time. Everything goes right. It's not camping, is it? As quickly as that rolled in, it's gone. So I've secured the fly a little bit better on the top to protect me in case of round two if it comes through the night. I might use those hand warmers after they're done warming the food. It really is amazing how dry a properly set up hammock and fly will keep you in a storm like this. I wouldn't even want to be sitting in a tent right now. The drive-through has really calmed down and the rain has stopped, so that's great news. I'm gonna head up and kind of take a look along the drive-through a little bit and just see. I'm not turning the light on yet. I know that's a contentious issue when I test the light because that's absolutely moronic. But I can use my phone with Bluetooth and actually just turn it on very briefly and back off. I'll do that later. Lots of time. The night is still young. Best part of stealth camping this time of year is the sun goes down at a reasonable hour. From up here, kind of more towards where I'm camped. That's perfect. I'm good and stealthy down there. When I was a kid, I always wanted to work in a drive-through. Got your own little window. That or a toll booth. Nobody's looking down there. I think I might grab a bowl of soup or use the washroom here at Tim Hortons. Always fresh at Tim Hortons. I gotta show you across the road where I was going to camp. All right, let's look. In the trees up here, right behind the gas station, is where I'd thought of filming, and I'd set up the hammock between a couple of trees. It was going pretty good, except then I realized they were blasting that music, which thankfully they've stopped. We're out of here. Things are nice and quiet right now, which means it's time for Steve to head down and do a good old stealth test with the light on. There's like literally one or two people working in this place right now, and there is nobody coming through the drive-through, which is exactly what I want to see. Well, I guess it's on. Now it's really on, so I can see that for sure. I turn it back down. Oh yeah. I'd say it's fine to have that light on at that level. Yeah, let's get back down there. Eat some grub. That is actually almost too hot to handle. We're gonna eat good tonight. Even the tortillas that I put on top are warm, so that's good. These hand warmers will do the job. It's not an efficient use of them as far as cooking goes. Put on some Texas Mexico cheese. Ooh, yeah, this is a really corny meal. Fancy restaurants like to do this really elaborately. Mmm. It is a symphony of flavors in my mouth. The sweet corn gives it a bit of a pop. Something's very spicy going on there. I think it's the meat. I'm actually pretty surprised this warmed it up to the point that it's it's actually kind of steaming. Okay, guys, I have to keep eating this. I'll see you in a second. Oh, was that ever good? I say this a few times here and there, but I'm gonna make that at home. I try to come up with like some creative recipes when I'm camping. When I'm home, I make boring recipes. Really quiet up here, but I can't stand those menus that play movies instead of just listing the foods and the prices. It's ridiculous. Anyway, back down the hill. I think it's about time for bed. It should be a pretty good sleep. Time for bed, guys. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, friends and followers. Got a beautiful day. Busy little through. So I'm gonna take all this stuff down and get out of here. It's a pretty smooth camping trip, aside from everything that went wrong and all the storm and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just keep an eye on that drive-through, and if there's a little bit of a break, I'll just put all this stuff down real quick and be on my way. Now, for anybody that isn't familiar with Tim Hortons, these are the busiest drive-thrus in Canada by far. So I couldn't have picked a busier place to be camping for the night. I'm going to set this back up at home and dry it out and clean it up a little bit better, because I don't want to stand here in front of that drive-through lineup passing this up. I know they can see me. It is a little embarrassing, but I'm not technically busted. I'm pretty sure they can see me. And I'm pretty sure most of them don't. Unless they call in the heavies. Well, I'm actually feeling pretty good of energy today, because a little stealth camping always brings out the time in me. Walk of shame. Successful, except there's not going to be a break in this traffic through the drive-thru. I'm sure of it. So, just got to go for it. Hello, world. Good morning. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching Camping with Steve. Just getting picked up here by Scott, who's filming me for some reason. Okay. Be sure to subscribe if you like it. Unsubscribe if you're sick of it. And we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
I'm a real wild one.
Tame your morning and fuel your wild ones with whole grain, protein-packed Kodiak frozen waffles.
We've been framed. You're in trouble, so we here to help. Kiss the ring right now. Kiss it.
This Thanksgiving,
I want the fox and that rabbit. I would like to call a partner meeting.
You have to clear our names.
I got eyes on them. We need to just lay low. Flash, 100-yard dash. We'll need to get across town, ignore the laws.
No problem.
Disney's Zootopia 2. Tickets available now.
Welcome to Camping with Steve. I'm trying to be as stealthy as possible with all this stuff. And we're going to do an old-fashioned, dirty stealther, urban type, in a different city I've not been to before. But this ahead of me is looking like prime stealth camping locations. Beautiful wife has dropped me off, and I'm going to get this set up and start the hunkering, because I got a hankering to do some hunkering. Hey, I geeked out on this trail here. Looks as good as any, not too traveled. Oh, people have been out here, so hopefully not too many people out here. Wow, a lot of potential, a lot of views as well. So my goal here is to try and set up as closely as I can to amenities, because I've realized I've forgotten a couple things already. Ooh, Ponderosa pine. I love these things. They're beautiful, and they're par for the course around here. There can be rattlers and all that type of thing, so I'll have to be a little more mindful than usual. And I think I see a spot up ahead. This should be just fine to set up. Definitely quite a bunch of junk out here. I wasn't expecting so much of that. But it doesn't look like there's anybody actively crashing out here. It looks like they just dumped a bunch of stuff. Now, I am not trudging too much further in because it's starting to get a little dark. And when I'm stealth camping, I like to sneak in right at dusk when it's starting to get dark and sneak out as early as I can, depending on the number of step twos I've had. So, this tree here and this one over here is going to work out pretty good to tie the hammock on. And I'm not far from this junk pile or anything. I think this little mound of dirt here is going to hide me a little bit, but there's nobody walking up here anyways. Nobody can see this. And there is other signs of people living rough here and there up here. So, hey, I'm in the right spot for stealth. That's all I can say. So I'll get the hammock set up. Then I have to go and grab a couple more things from down the hill at one of those stores there, probably McDonald's or something. I need some salt and pepper. And I need a flashlight because mine broke in the car. So I'm going to go grab that. But first things first. Step one is to get the hammock up. Then we'll step to it from there. Now, I talked before about my hammock, the Hennessy. This is the side effect of having the best wife in the world. Beautiful wife for our anniversary got me the model with the zip on it, which I've been dying for, because the bottom entry version with that, it has a little Velcro that you basically get in through the bottom and it snaps shut. That really doesn't work well if you're trying to put in a sleeping pad or an underquilt, and makes getting in and out a big ordeal. So I've got this one. The snake skins on it. First time trying it out. Couldn't have picked a better spot. This is just coming up great. Everything's coming up, Steve. Oh, I just stepped on my wine. And the GoPro. Yes. Everything's not coming up, Steve, so more. Ooh. It'll be interesting. Many people use carabiners instead of knots with these. That would work very well too. Now, I know when you're setting up stealth, low is very important. However, the position we are up here, nobody's going to see this from any angle that I can see. That'll do. Just nicely. I guess I'll spread it up a little bit better. But yeah, we're nice and far up the hill and out of view from everybody. Things are set up. Step 2 tonight is a delicious Pinot Grigio. That'll go very nice with the noodles I'm doing for dinner. Very crisp, refreshing, elegant, and easy drinking. So, losing daylight fast. I got some stuff tucked away up here, so there's less in the backpack, which is still not a very big backpack. This is actually a carry-on sized that I picked up for a trip to Hungary years ago. And that's where I went to go see Beautiful Wife before we actually started dating. She's a Canadian, but she was there doing music school. Anyway, this old timer can ramble on sometimes, but I'm gonna get a flashlight because it's definitely gonna get a little dark. Mosquitoes are not bad, thankfully. That's not gonna be the case for the next video because I know where I'm going and what I'm doing, and those things are ferocious. There's the tiny ones that are hard to kill. They have mean little hearts, not like the big ones I'm used to that go away as soon as it gets a little bit cool. So I'm going to load this camera up in the bag. I'm not going to leave this up the hill. Not that I'm expecting anybody, but it would be just too tempting to leave the camera up the hill. All right. Pack this up. In the bag. Got the hammock kind of collapsed a little bit, so stick out too much. Follow my trail here. And yeah. Oh yeah, nobody's gonna see that. That's like there's nothing there at all. Nothing at all. It's the beauty of the color of those Hennessy hammocks. They really do that. And oh, see, the good people of the world are staying at the Marriott. That's a little bit much even for when I grab a hotel. More of a Super 8 kind of guy. But yeah, it's quite beautiful up here, actually. Fantastic view. But getting dark, we should actually see quite a nice view of the city here as soon as things darken up a bit. And I'm gonna hit that McDonald's. I already tried the Shell. I didn't have any flashlights or anything like that. I could hit the McDonald's, and maybe one of the other gas stations will have a flashlight, which is desperately needed. So onwards we go. So stealth camping, it really helps to have a haircut and a shave and not a humongous backpack on. I'm going to try my luck at the Chevron here and see what I can find for those things I need. Yeah. Mission number 1 accomplished, salt and pepper packages, because I cannot make a bland noodle dish. Mission number 2, not so successful. They're sold out of AA batteries. So the mission continues to find some AA batteries because it's getting dark. And I'm going to need them in a strange town up in the woods. Major success, got batteries. And I'm going to get up the hill after I rig up the flashlight I got. And then everything's going to be all right. This is going to be sweet. As soon as I'm out of these street lights, it's going to be smooth sailing. The only risky part of getting back into the woods is when you actually make the break from being on the trail or the sidewalk into the woods. Let's go. About to cook dinner during the darkest hours of the night. Some people might know where that's from. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing's been disturbed here. Awesome. Doesn't get better than that. The rest of the world down there below us. And we're gonna do some dinner up here. Okay, out here in the hollow, just about ready to get cooking some dinner. And through the woods, I was hearing something. I don't know if that's an animal or somebody sleeping rough. Maybe somebody trying out a hammock like me. Who knows? But yeah, hard to say. Just gonna lay low for a bit here before I start cooking a delicious smelling meal that's gonna walk through this forest like anything that'll attract anybody around here, animal or human or anything like that. But it's been a little bit quiet, so that's a good sign so far. This meal all prepared. and packaged in various steps I need to do. So the first step on this meal, what is this? Oh, it's the ham. Awesome. Okay. First step we're going to do here is boil some water. We're going to cook some noodles, and that's going to be the base of this this dinner. Is some noodles, and we're going to do basically like a cream peas and ham sauce on noodles. And yeah, it looks like I got everything I need. So I can find, yes, a lighter. I think one of the biggest levels of stress is that I am in a new place. I have not camped here before. And in fact, I've only ever briefly gone through this city in the past.
FanDuel's dropping profit boosts every college football Saturday. So how do we spread the word?
I got it. We boost our bus with rockets and fly to tailgates everywhere. Voila. Get a profit boost every college football Saturday with FanDuel.
And some people will probably already know which city this is, particularly based on my last videos. You may know kind of the direction I'm going. So, get this boiling, chuck in the noodles. We'll set that off to the side. Just make the sauce real quick. Chow down as quickly as possible. I'm gonna curl up in here, undetected, hopefully, for the night. I don't think I'll have a problem. I'm way up the hill. And little stove boils quick. Time for noodles. Now we're talking. Cooked up beautifully. I'm going to strain this out. Put this off to the side for now. Be extremely vigilant about dry grass here. Starting a fire. So, I cooked the noodles. Start it all off with, why not make a little stealth camping roux? So, I got flour and butter right in here, just because it's easy to carry in one pouch like this. And, oh no, it's burning already. Maybe don't put it all in one pouch. Do the butter separate from the flour. But, well, anybody that's watching this is probably screaming at me from behind their phones or computers. It's this milk that never goes bad. If that's not enough to concern you. I'm sitting here filming this, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I can just hear chefs around the world united in shaming exactly what I'm doing. Speaking of worse, yeah, all these little packages of salt and pepper that I shanghaied from the store down the road. Not all of them, but some of them are going in. Freshly cracked open package of pepper. Or several. All right. Make it extra peppery, because that's the good thing for this. I suppose it's not a bad idea to add a little bit of Pinot Grigio to bring the flavors together. Dump in the peas. In goes the old ham. Pull out the piece of plastic that fell in from the bag. Yeah. This will warm up. In goes the pre-cooked noodles. certainly hitting the spot. Noodles done just perfectly. The peas, the ham. Oh, guys, this is just what I need. All right. Yeah. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I'll hunker down in here. No problem. All right. Not the most ideal location for the first setup, just because of the trees, but we were losing daylight and I had to set up somewhere. And this looked pretty good. But the Hennessy hammock, it's got this nice little cell phone pouch and all that up there. It's got a ridge line up here. It's an asymmetrical hammock, so you sleep kind of sideways. You're not. Oh, there goes the light. Yeah, you sleep kind of sideways, but okay. Anyway, yeah, this should keep the mosquitoes off me and the rain if it does rain, but I doubt that very much. It's been quite a long day. We put several more 100 miles on the car today. We're all set here to get the AC fixed and continue on with the journey. But I'm going to hunker down, so to speak. Thank you guys for watching so far. And yeah, we'll assess the damage in the morning and look at how to set this up a little bit better. But it's going to do for right now. Had a big meal. Everything's going to be all right. We see you guys in the morning. Morning, guys. It is hot. I got to get out of this hoodie. This is just way outside of my normal temperature zone. I can't do this. Oh. Yeah, that hammock settled pretty low on the ground, so I'm going to have to brush up on my hammock setting up skills. Good hammock, though. It seems sturdier than my other one. The other one I got was like, I got it 5 or 6 years ago. It seems like they're using a tougher material. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm happy with that. The most relieving part of any stealth camping is when the morning comes and you made it without getting caught or without being harassed by any other people that might be camping in the area. So to make things look less obvious, I'm going to take things down fairly quickly here so that it looks like I'm just out with my camera taking pictures of like trees and things. You know, there's a lot of people that do that, and I could be one of them for all that matters. I know many of you will not agree with me, but fall's coming soon. That's when I like to really go camping. Fall and spring, 2 best times. Fewer mosquitoes. It's not that cold yet. And it's far easier, in my experience, to stay warm than to try and cool down. And I've turned into like some cold-blooded reptile or something out here. I don't know. I've just been able to do cold weather really easily for the last few years since I went to school and I stayed in the tent. I just got used to it. I've taken everything down to keep a nice, clean camp where I was. The other people that camped here, though, I want to meet them because, you know, there's all this stuff. It looks like they were probably going to try to build a semi-permanent cabin out here with this stuff. But, yeah, they're leaving their medicine containers laying around and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's not good. So, yeah, I gotta get out of here. All these dragonflies and there's crickets and stuff, and I just keep thinking they're a snake every time the brushes rattle a little bit. So I gotta hike on out of here. It was a good spot for the night, that's for sure. And I'm gonna see what I can find for breakfast down the hill. And I do have another channel I started up. It's called Steve Wallace Step 2. And the reason for that, I know people are thinking, well, just upload more to this channel. But the problem is people come here, they expect on this channel like basically an overnight camping thing. And then suddenly something about the house shows up, like house renovations. They're like, what is this? I didn't sign up for this channel. So this one will be strictly like, 20 to 30 minutes or whatever, or even longer of actual camping trips. The other one is all the nitty gritty, boring aspects, side projects, that type of stuff, building contraptions. The recipes will go onto that channel as well. So I'll start going through and doing all of them, like the camp cooking meals, without the whole camping experience, but just, the recipe, steps, ingredients, quantities, all that should be on there. Anyway, this old timer still rambles on. Holy moly. Yeah. I'm gonna head down there because I'm starving and all I've got is a granola bar. That's just not gonna do it for me. Just like that, I'm almost back out on the sidewalk like a regular, normal person, just going for a regular, normal walk. Not camping secretly in the woods. And before I get out there, I'm taking this one. Crush it up so they don't assume that I'm just drinking, walking down the road. Oh, somebody else. Maybe I'll have to bring the car back and haul some of this junk out of here. Yeah. All right. The perfect crime. Certainly not the most creative breakfast, but it's a Canadian one anyway. I have my backpack so full, I'm just using this little one for the summertime. And it was so full that I couldn't really fit much in breakfast-wise. And, bringing eggs and bagels and all this other stuff would be a bit much. So I found it's just easier to take $5 with me for a breakfast meal in the morning. And I forgot with these backpacks how much of a criminal you feel like when you're walking into a gas station or something and they want you to, leave the bag on the counter. And I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of camera gear in there. I don't even really trust leaving it there, but play by the rules, I guess. And, having a haircut definitely helps. I don't look too shady anymore, just slightly shady. And that definitely helps with walking in and out of the forest, that type of thing, or the woods up there. But it was a pretty successful trip. Always nice and relaxing to sleep outdoors. Even, it's something different about the air, I think. Even with traffic noise, that type of thing, it's just such a good sleep, I find. But somebody wants this parking spot here, so I gotta get out of their way. And please subscribe if you like this. Until next time, hunker down at home, and now you're camping with Steve.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual! Doritos. Yeah!
So I'll take a bite. It's they're convenient, but they're certainly not low on packaging. Okay. Well, it smells better than the bun. Look at these. Wow. Okay, you gotta see this. Oh, it's hot. Okay. Let's see what we can show. I'm bitten by a mosquito there. Okay, and this is like adult Chef Boyardee, I guess. We'll see if Chef Boyardee could learn a thing or two from these guys. The sauce tastes like Chef Boyardee sauce. And we'll see what things taste like. Mm. Mm. It basically tastes like Chef Boyardee. Okay. Just checking out the ingredients because, well, this filling looks more like meat than cheese. Mmm. Okay, well, I'm going to say I don't think Canadian IMPs are quite what I remember from my day in Air Cadets. We actually loved them back then. I'm going to look into some other options that can fit in a backpack with easy preparation. Now, I know I get ragged on about the food I cook sometimes, and a lot of it just boils down to convenience. Because if I'm camping, you know, I generally don't want to be slicing up. Like I did make fish and chips the one time and battered them and deep fried them. But as far as serious camping, I don't know anybody that would actually do that on a backpacking trip. And for a reason, you know, people use the freeze dried and these things just because you're out camping, enjoying the scenery and nature. Food kind of comes second. If you're hiking up a mountain, you're just concerned about getting your calories and getting your water. And if it tastes good, even better. But then, you know, you got concoctions like ramen bombs with like ramen noodles, potato flakes, and a can of tuna. So I have not, I haven't subjected us to those type of meals yet. And I'll try not to do that. So I've got a whole bunch of little recipes I'm looking at. Anyway, just gonna chill here for a bit, crawl into there, and yeah, it's not a stealth video this week because I had to actually try this stuff out, and we've been working on the boat so much that there's just not a whole lot of time. That'll all change very soon because as soon as the boat's done, get that trip done. Why do I keep eating this? And then it will be Stealth City, Stealth Fall. So most of dinner was just peanut butter and Kit Kat bars, and bugs are starting to really come out. So I'm gonna crawl into this thing. I'll do a quick peek inside for everybody to see what it's like in there. It is quite spacious for a bivvy sack. And tomorrow, I'm going to be starving. So I'm going to figure out something to cook for a breakfast out here on these little tabs. And may have to go around and grab some eggs or something, but we'll have a little breakfast. Okay. Yeah, in here there is this little corner pocket here. That's about it for the storage. And of course, it's your typical bivvy sack. You're not going to have tons of room in here, but you know, in a pinch, you could probably put a couple of people in here. This is quite good. Actually, I really like this. It's not the smallest bivvy in the world. I'm just gonna zip this up before I get consumed alive by mosquitoes. So it's definitely not the smallest one, but this does the job just fine. A lot of headroom. It's not claustrophobic, and I'm not getting a cut selling these things. I just thought it was a good thing, so I bought one and I'm testing it out. It's got a lot of adventures ahead of it. So I'm going to zip up here, get to bed, or hunker down, so to speak. And yeah, in the morning I'm gonna be probably woken up by hunger because I normally eat a meal for like 10 people, not a few bites of pasta and a Kit Kat. But yeah, that's the weight loss plan. Kit Kat and a bite of pasta. So see you guys in the morning, and then we will try to cook something good to eat for once. Cheers. Well, good morning, everybody. That was a pretty good sleep. The only downside about this contraption is it gets hot. It does not breathe well. Like, this fly pretty much just comes down and surrounds the whole thing, so there's not any air movement. As soon as the sun starts to come out, you're going to be cooking. But this will be the perfect thing to use this fall for camping. It'll be able to keep some of the heat in. I don't know. I like it. It sets up fairly quickly. And yeah, I am famished though, due to my Kit Kat and peanut butter dinner last night. So I'm gonna hike back to the car, and I think I've got some freeze-dried breakfast food in there for emergencies, and this is a severe emergency. I did find this old thing I had in there. It's a breakfast skillet: eggs, sausage, potatoes, peppers, open pouch at tear mark. Add 2 cups of boiling water to the pouch. Stir well and zip pouch closed. Let stand for 15 minutes. Open pouch, stir again, and enjoy. So we're going to see how much enjoyment we can get out of a peak refuel thing. Just coming to the realization that all the lightweight food is pretty bad. If it's lightweight and small, I don't know. Oh, a little bug in there. So yeah, 3 of these mystery invisible flame, strange smelling burning tablets pretty much brought it to a boil. I wouldn't say a rolling boil, but an almost boil. So should be good enough for some freeze-dried food. And this is going to be my last experiment with this type of lightweight food. It is not good. And I know there's some brands that are better than others. Obviously, if you're up a mountain somewhere, it's really good to have something to eat that's not trail mix. However, I am going to stick with the devil I know and use things like actual Chef Boyardee or actual Kraft mac and cheese, because they are pretty light, and I know what they taste like. It's not going to be some mystery. And oh yeah, it looked really gross, I'm just going to say, but we'll see what happens. So it's marinated for 15 minutes as directed. Whoa, it is pretty juicy still. I think I'll leave it to go for another little bit here, but it actually smells pretty good. And as far as what I'm looking at, I've seen worse than this. Like, yeah, the other one I tried to make, the other breakfast one years ago, I think it was my second stealth camping video ever. That was pretty bad. The potatoes really take some time to rehydrate. Let's see. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's like that. Hot sauce. Potatoes are still crunchy, but I could sit here all day waiting for this to dehydrate. I'm gonna find my Frank's Red Hot from that IMP or MRE, and I'll give that a dose in here. But chewy. But before I do that, start taking down this tent. And we'll time that and see how fast that goes. Because I'm a fan of quick setups and teardowns, especially if you're hiding from the law. Yeah. It went pretty much as good as could be expected. And yeah, this is reconstituted quite nicely. Mm. Actually, not bad. I would give this one thumb up. I was expecting 3 thumbs down, but I do have to give a huge shout out to the folks that have donated to the beer donation fund. I really appreciate it. You guys have spoken. You want to see me doing camping, so I'll keep it coming as long as I'm able, and as long as people still watch. You can expect me around pretty much every week. Mm. This is a 640 calorie breakfast. These meals are pretty big, you know, and rightfully so. You know, like if people are seriously hiking, nothing wrong with like the protein in this. What was it saying? Clocks in at 39 grams. Who needs that much protein? I don't know. Not me. I don't. I didn't hike enough. Okay. Actually, the eggs in this, you know what they are? It's like the ones you get at the free breakfast at a hotel. That type of reconstituted eggs. So, actually, not that bad. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'll explore this brand a little bit more, but I'll explore this delicately because things could be. I'll bring backup food, just in case. That's what we call them. Yeah, I'm actually going to eat this whole thing. Okay. So you just only give what it looks like. It's like that. Actually, not too bad at all for what it is. All right. So thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for following along. Thanks for watching. There is going to be a mix of a lot of things. Today wasn't full-blown stealth, but this told me what I needed to know. Now I know the tent goes back in the bag, so yes, it will bag. And for a cool day, it'll be just perfect. So until next time, you guys been camping with Steve, and we'll see you soon on a river adventure and on a whole bunch of stuff. Thanks for following along.
Try Always Discreet underwear for bladder protection that fits up to 95% of body shapes.
Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them.
You ready? It's Saturday. Dave's ready. Dave George ready. He's miles ahead of you. We flying, Dave. Oh! Let's go.
Plenty of runtime, and it's even got turbo mode.
That's what they called me in college. No, they didn't. They called me a lot of things, different things.
I bet they did.
We'll take it.
We got a Sunday to earn.
We help you tackle that project by Saturday so you can earn your Sunday. Lowe's.
Well, hey guys, welcome to Camping with Steve. Sorry it's a few days late. It's not Thursday like usual, but better late than ever, eh? I'm feeling a lot better, and today I'm gonna possibly make some steps backwards in the feeling better department by sleeping outside in this rain. So I'm gonna walk into the woods here by my place. I can't leave the property, of course, because I've been a little sick and they're frowning on that. So I'm gonna come in here and see if I can find, there's like tons of firewood. But I want to see if I can find a couple of trees that will set up nicely for the distance of this hammock. And of course, the very first thing is to get a spot that's nice and dry. And I think I see one that's going to work quite nicely right here. Yeah, this should do really good. As soon as I got the tarp up, they were on sale a little while ago, and I picked up another one of these. It's a 13 by 9 foot 10 inch, and they're polyester, or yeah, it's polyester. So it was about $25 when it was on sale. The sale might be back on. I don't know, but it folds up a lot better than those stupid blue tarps. The blue tarps are really cheap, but these ones are pretty good. And I've seen some of those camping stores trying to sell backpacking tarps made out of polyester or nylon for over $300. So I was very thrilled to pick this up for a reasonable fee. The hammock I used to have one years ago. I call this the bear burrito. So you look like a burrito that a bear would eat. And this, it doesn't have the integrated mesh screen or the integrated tarp over top like my other hammock. But this one I can use more easily as a chair. I don't have to crawl in from underneath. But enough of this talking, because I'm getting wetter the longer I stand here explaining this stuff. I'm going to get this tarp fairly high up in the trees, because I want to have a small fire underneath of this to fend off the cold. Well, now that we got this up, that's half the battle. Of course, it seems like the rain has stopped now. But anyhow, this will be a good windbreak, and the rain is supposed to come back. So this will be very, very useful as a kind of shelter. And that was step one. Step two, of course, is to crack a delicious frosty beer. This one's a Stanley Park Brewing Layer Up Winter Wheat Ale. No, I'm not sponsored. It was just a good deal, and I've never had one before. So cheers, guys. And it's okay to drink a beer or two on these trips. Just be smarter than me and don't use your axe after a couple. Get your firewood sorted before you have too many of these. And other than that, yeah, this isn't hardcore camping. You know, we're not scaling Everest here. It's okay to have a few beers, because that's what everybody I know does when they go camping. Batten down the hatches a little better. I gotta put up this hammock so I got somewhere to sit and enjoy my step two of the day. And I picked this one up. It was like $30 or something. So, all carabiners and everything. Okay, maybe I won't burn the instructions right away, but I will burn the box when I get a fire started. That's awesome! Carabiners. I've always needed a pair of these for the other hammock. That's a pretty small little hammock package here. I like. That'll work good. Real good. The wind is pretty aggressive today. I'm gonna add more rope onto every single grommet that I can put rope onto. That'll give the tarp a little more holding power if this wind really whips up. Well, I am going to try and build a small fire pit under here. The ground is nice and wet from all this rain, but you always got to worry about any of this leaves and grass and stuff that could catch on fire. And also everything around me is plastic, including the hammock, the tarp, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and most of my clothing. So, don't want to cause any grief here. But this looks like pretty good ground. There's no roots or nothing underneath of it. Nothing I found yet. So, it should be good if I keep it small. I'm just going to gather some material to burn. These woods are loaded with some pretty dry wood, so I'm going to start the fire in a bit here, so we don't have to come out looking for more wood later. I don't want it too big, and yeah, it's sure getting blustery, I have to say that. I threw on a bunch of small diameter wood about the size of a cheap hot dog because that should get it big enough that I can have a coal bed to cook on, but also not so big that it starts all this plastic camping equipment on fire, because the plastic would be dripping like hot syrup all over me, and I don't need that. So without any further ado, I'm going to saturate this with barbecue fluid. That should do good. It's better than gasoline because it won't go woof. And actually, got some of the garbage that came with this hammock. And that should do the job. Don't ever look to me for safety advice, and don't do this. Well, you can really smell the kerosene and that stuff. Smells like a Zippo. Perfect. Should get things going. Yeah. I can feel the warmth already. This should be cozy in extreme conditions. I really do like camping in bad weather. Much preferred to good weather. Spring and fall are my favorite seasons to camp in. We don't really get the spring or fall here. It usually goes right into summer. But I got 2 weeks before we need the air conditioner and all that. So these are the golden days, guys. Well, the rain waxes and wanes, but I'm staying completely dry in here. And there is some wind blowing through for sure, but that's actually keeping the smoke from the fire away from blowing in my face for now. And that wasn't planned, that was just a fluke, a happy coincidence. So, I'm going to get this down to a bed of coals and throw on a long simmering soup, because it's soup weather. And I got some good tray buns. So, promises to be a real good meal. Hamburger soup. One of my special skills is that when I'm camping, I go to rearrange all the logs on the fire, and then it sometimes ends up putting the fire out because I haven't mastered that art quite yet. But so far, so good. Just doesn't get any better than this. Maybe next time I'll use a ridge line at the very top that goes all the way across instead of relying on these grommets on the tarp. But $30 hammock, and I'm sure you can grab them cheaper on Amazon. This is just a regular backyard parachute hammock that is not really meant for camping in any serious way. And the tarp, $20. There's those cheaper poly ones, but those big blue and green ones, they're loud, so it would be so annoying to be filming with this rustle of a loud tarp. And they don't pack up nicely, so you end up with a huge ball of tarp at the end of the trip that came in a little thing the size of an envelope. And as long as I keep the fire away from that edge where it's where it could singe the tarp, and away from this, it's going to be good. I might make it a little bit longer here, and kind of more in the middle. I think I got enough coals to start cooking. So I'm just going to brown up some ground beef with some garlic and onions. You don't need to bring this much garlic with you, but a Dutch oven is great, so I do recommend that. No more worrying about the bottom getting a little sooty. This is what they're designed for. Aha. And this got a perfect hook on it, so I can, grab the lid, move it around. I sterilize this part in the flame so that nothing gross drips into the food. Oop, something did gross drip in there. No food yet, so it's not even hot yet. We'll just dump that thing out or whatever it is. Okay. All right. So remove the disgusting chunks of bark from your Dutch oven. And I got this recipe actually off of spendwithpennies.com. And they don't sponsor me or nothing. I always just Google a recipe that's going to give me an easy meal in one pot. Get rid of that guy. And I don't like to throw this on the fire, of course, especially if I'm cooking on it. So pack it in, pack it out. One of the downsides with cooking directly on the fire, I've found, is the ability to control the heat. So you want to look at the recipes, make sure it's kind of conducive to a wide range of temperatures. And cast iron helps a lot with that. Just brown up the ground beef, throw in some onions and garlic. When it calls for garlic, I think it was like 2 cloves. I use this pre-mixed stuff because it's real easy. And everything I do when I'm camping is easy. It's in cans, mix it all in and eat. There's more to do. You got to enjoy the scenery, the nature. You don't want to be cutting onions, sitting there crying in the middle of nature. It's certainly better things to be doing than food prep, but it smells good for just ground beef on a fire in a Dutch oven. Now, I've pre-chopped the onion at home, so there's no need to do that out here. Put this in, brown it up with beef, dump in a generous glug of garlic. Yeah. The recipe is just called hamburger soup on Spent with Pennies. If you Google that, I think it was the first recipe that came up for hamburger soup when I did my Googling. Handy dandy garbage bag for other items. Yeah. Just kind of doing this a little quicker than normal because I got some daylight fading here and I want to get the soup started before I'm doing it with a flashlight in the middle of the night.
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
And garlic. So 2 cloves. About 2 cloves. Okay, I'm gonna fry that up. That's the actual only cooking part of this recipe. The rest of it is just dumping in cans of stuff. So, and some spices and salt and pepper. And that's the type of recipe I like when I'm camping. None of this, trying to make beef Wellington or something. Unless you can find a really bastardized version. No sense to make anything overboard. Oh yeah. That's gonna work just great. Perfect. Just the type of meal I like to cook. Throw in a bunch of stuff. Beef broth, 4 cups, or 1 liter. There you go. See if this guy can carry out. And 4 cans of good stuff. Oh, why didn't I bring a can opener? I'm sure I did. Ah, can opener. This calls for I'm not sure, some Italian style seasoning. Looks like enough. It calls for bay leaves, but I didn't have any, and I'm sure there's bay leaves in this. No, there isn't. If you want to do it to the recipe, use bay leaves, I guess. Yeah, doesn't matter, I guess, what order you're throwing in. A can of mixed vegetables. You could use frozen or fresh for that matter. Doesn't really matter. Now I'm just throwing all this brine that comes in with this stuff in there so that I don't have to put in so many scoops of sugar at the end of it all. Or salt, not sugar. Diced potatoes. Come in a can. Great thing to bring camping. I'm a big fan of things that if you don't use, you won't find them all rotten in the back of your trunk when you're done with camping. So 1 can, 2 cans. Calls for a can of diced tomatoes. You wipe the junk off the lid. But there it goes. Yeah. Nice tomatoes. Oh, this pot's getting dangerously full. That's okay. We'd use these to build a little rocket stove. No, just might. Now, let's stir all that in. The actual recipe wants a can of normal tomato soup. Now, the problem with that is I don't like normal tomato soup. It tastes like ketchup and milk mixed together. So, when it boils down, because that's getting to the brim, I'm just going to add some normal tomato sauce or that type of thing. And I'm not going to try to pronounce this because I get enough flack over my pronunciation of pasta or pasta or however you say it. But this steak sauce wants like 2 tablespoons for that instant richness. Yum. Little step 2 for good luck in there. There. That should do the job quite nicely. Oh, that's a good soup. Once it's all nice and cooked, I just heat the side of it by the fire. That keeps the whole thing warm. But as you can hear, that's not just rain anymore. That's sleet. So we know it's below 0 Celsius, and we know it's below 32 Fahrenheit. So that'll make things a little interesting. But yeah, this soup I'm going to enjoy with a nice fresh buttered tray bun. Oh yeah, love these buns. They're just great. They're one of the few things you get from a bakery that actually tastes homemade. Absolutely. I'll try and show you my huge cauldron of soup here. I think that is a very good hearty meal. Oh yeah, almost a stew. Still nice and dry down here. I'm knocking snow off the sides because there are full-blown snowflakes coming down as we speak. So, throw a few more pieces of wood on the fire, and I've had a heaping helping of delicious hamburger soup here. But I'm gonna put in the sleeping pad. Because I'm gonna need all the insulation I can get on the bottom of this thing for the night. And this is another one of those real cheap guys I picked up versus, you know, the cost of a real one. It's got this blowing it up contraption. Yikes. I guess you put the air into it, and then hook it together. You find the nozzle on here without burning it on the campfire. Oh, no. Probably a thing to do in the daylight, to be honest. But you don't want to get your breath in there because it's moist. But the moisture will add up in there. And create a little bit less insulation for you. So that is definitely. Oh, this isn't taking too long. This is inflating pretty good. So yeah, keep it away from the campfire. Oh yeah. Doesn't take too long at all. Inflate this guy. Yeah. This is great. Well, that worked out pretty good. Oh, yeah. It's like a waterbed. Unbelievable. Super comfortable. And yeah, I think it's probably time to turn in for the night. So I have to give a huge shout out to all of the people who have sent beer donations and all of the people who have picked up Hunker Down merch. There's the old design, which I'm sporting right now because it was the only clean thing in the house. But there's also a new design out there made by Max Norman. He's just a really good guy that came up with the design for the new one. So that's awesome. Chow down a little bit more and hunker down. And this, it should be pretty toasty, I think, but we'll see what happens. Oh my, what have I gotten myself into? Well, woke up a moment too soon to use the washroom. Oh, the snow is pretty severely on the tarp. And I've stopped my time-lapse video from filming and broke my tripod. So I've got to crawl back in there quick. It is getting pretty chilly, sad to say. It's the devil tonight, oh boy. Good morning, and this is what I wake up to. A lot of snow, but tarp really held up nicely. So that's awesome. Oh, I don't know how much more I can film. I'm using this broken stump of a tripod here. So I'll probably head into town and get another tripod. And I got another more stealthy video coming up, which should be happening for Thursday. Because I know the stealth is really popular and it's fun. It gives me a little bit of a thrill, a little excitement about getting possibility of getting busted. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it's probably a short one by the time it's all edited down, but you know, bring it back, swing of things here. Feeling much better than I was over the last couple of weeks. Actually, I had a awful it was the cold or allergy symptoms or something, a headache for a little while, and pretty exhausted. But no, I'm feeling really good. Eating a lot more healthy and being more active, and you know, resting when I need it. So that makes all the difference in the world. So thanks for watching, guys. And if this is your first time around watching one of these, subscribe if you like this sort of thing. And if not, please don't be too mean in the comments. So we'll see you guys come Thursday. Thanks a lot. Hey everybody, welcome to Camping with Steve. I picked up a Cabela's hunting blind, and it's pretty cold out. I'm going to try to walk across the road here into a patch of woods and hopefully get away with it, despite how incredibly obvious all of this looks. Now, all I have to do is just get across that road and into the woods, and things should be all right. Yeah. Well, I always try to do the winter stealth camping on the warmest days I can find. This winter's not cooperating with us. So I got a lot of propane with me in these bags and a little smaller buddy heater. That'll keep us warm, I sure hope. There is our beautiful road in traffic. Let's go. Oh, the snow is deep. Oh, okay, that's up to my knee. All right. I brought boots today. This spot's way too close to the road, obviously. So I think I'm gonna head over that way a little bit more. Looks like there's a clearing there I can set up in, and then get a heater on, because I can feel it's cold already. Houses over there behind us, road over there, and there's a bit of a trail. People have been out here. And I don't want to spook the locals, of course, but I do want to go camping, so in through here, out of the way a little. It's just a bit right. Propane. Yeah. Basically, this little hunting blind sets up like that ice fishing shack, except it's much smaller and it's only 4 sides. That's okay. It's big enough that I can lay down diagonally and still stretch out. So, let's see how this goes. Yeah, you can see it's definitely not very big in here, but certainly better than laying right on the ground. Oh, have a little more daylight. Oh, yeah. It comes with these little screens I can put on. They're like a one-way screen. I can see out. Supposedly they shouldn't be able to see in unless I turn a flashlight on. But perfect time to try out this heater and see what happens. One of the first things first is I grab my tent footprint. It's not for the shape of this, but it's something to go down on the ground. And it'll keep my knees from getting soaked from the snow. And it's something nice to lay on. Nice. Put the heater right on that. That heater I've been using for years. The Big Buddy. This is its smaller companion. And, oh, I didn't bring the stand for it. Well, I'll have to put this in the snow good and securely. Okay, push button start. All right. And yes, it warms right up. Okay, and I'll see if I can find a spot to attach this onto the ground where it's not going to roll too much. It's got a tip sensor on it too, so if it goes off level, it shut itself off. Safety first, safety first. This little guy doesn't seem to be lighting, and that is a large problem for tonight's temperature. I'm going to mess with it some more and see if we can get it to go. Crisis solved. I just kind of lifted it up and then it ignited. So I'm keeping my eye on it. That wouldn't have been very good. So yeah, just going to lay low until it's a little bit darker here. Then we'll get out and scope things out and see how much of a sore thumb this setup looks like. Since we're in loitering mode, let's let the loitering begin. Actually, I don't think the cough was any better than the sound of a beer crack. Okay, right here, it's pretty obvious. But, of course, there's no leaves on any trees. Over here, yeah, it really sticks out. Still sticks out. I'm just relying on the fact that nobody should really be out walking. Oh, that looks a little better in there. That looks pretty good. Then from the main sidewalk, yeah, nobody's gonna see anything there. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm comfortable hunkering down in there tonight. I can still see my breath a bit, but I think it's going to be warm enough tonight. It's going to be minus 20 Celsius, minus 4 Fahrenheit, the same as it was all day today, pretty much. Might cool off a little bit, but there's frost building up, of course, on the walls, and that's to be expected at these temperatures, and hopefully not too thick that I can't pack it up in the morning. This little buddy heater, 3800 BTUs, it's the smallest one they sell. I used to have one before, and they've upgraded it. There's a lot more safety features involved, which is good. I have nothing against that. I'll get the bed set up in a little bit, but for the meantime, I'm just kind of chilling here. I'm going to seal that up a little bit to keep the heat in. House is over there. There's a few lights on, but not too many. And here I am. It looks quite stealthy. Gotta cook up some food. I'm thinking a Frito pie. And all I could find was this stag chili, not Wolf brand or anything. And maybe tempting fate, because it's a long run to the car in the morning with a lot of gear. However, this should do just fine. Try and cook it right on top of here, or warm it up anyways. You don't want to cook in the cans, but I think it's okay to warm them up. Okay, this is kind of the tour. Here we go. It's not very big. I can probably sleep in there, and the heater and some food stuff to go. And that's what we're doing in here. I got this little stool to sit on, which is quite good. But yeah, you can see it's not a very big place to hunker down in. And of course, that's the problem with the main camera. I started to get the frost on the glass here, sadly. Okay, I've got some tongs set up in here, and the actual apparatus set up at an angle where it's still going to work. And it seems to be doing the job. Nothing's fallen over. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. So in the urban parks, we've been having an issue with coyotes becoming a little aggressive to humans. And that's why I brought the bear spray. If it works on a bear, it should work on a coyote. All right, it's proved to be reasonably warm. And that means dinner time. A few ingredients. Fritos, or in Canada, as they can be known, corn chips. Texas Mexico cheese, or in the rest of the world, Tex-Mex cheese. And sour cream, known universally as sour cream. A can of chili. So, I'll grab my sharpest key and there we go. Okay. Split the bag of corn chips open. Try to dump this in here somehow. If there was only a tool that would do it, this is the one. Oh yeah. There we go. No. Sour cream, which is probably frozen. Oh yeah. Well, that's some pretty frozen sour cream. Just looks like ice cream. Unbelievable. Oh, what do I get myself into? Okay. So, some people say walking taco or whatever. Here we go. We got a bag with Fritos or corn chips. I don't have the most sophisticated palate, and I'm okay with that. If it's easy and I can put it in the backpack, it is a good meal for me. You know, high in sodium and fat is an extra benefit. This is quite good. So, of course, I have to give a shout to all the beer donations, which, you know, also keep the interesting equipment coming, etc. Like hunting blind, for instance. So thank you to everybody for that. I never did a Patreon because by the time I thought it was a good idea, I was in over my head already with trying to at least get a video up once a week. And, you know, the extra content thing or whatever was just a little too much to try and add to the plate. However, I thank everybody for your support. Trying to sit here and be stealthy in a small thing like this probably doesn't make for a very good video. It is exceedingly hard to stay organized in a really small space like this. Like, this is like 5 feet by 5 feet, so I can lay down diagonally. But I'm gonna get this air mattress inflated. It's the Thermarest Neo Air Uberlight, because it packs up so small. And last time I used that inflation bag, no. I brought this with new batteries in it. Please tell me it works. God. Okay. This actually is smaller and lighter weight and quicker than the inflation bag. But yeah, if you're on like a 10-day journey or something, I would not bring this. I would bring the inflation bag because it won't fail. This, however, I got 6 or 7 inflations out of it before it died on me, so. That inflates it just fine as a daisy. And shove that in the sleeping bag here. Worst thing about these is when there's a heater like that in close quarters. So I'll be very sure that we don't pop this under the hot heat of that beautiful heater that's making all of this possible. Let me tell you, the last stealth camp was cold, and I had a couple more sleeping bags, but today is way colder. And I just got the one. Not a lot of spare room. That's okay. We've been through worse. My boots off here. Crawl into the sack. Oh, great. Okay, let's stay going. Here to click there. Got another propane cylinder by my head here. Right there. Take it down, it'll be good. And see you guys in the morning. Well, it's coming up like close to 3 in the morning here. My toes are nice and warm. The rest of me probably not so much that warm. Yeah, just about 3 in the morning. I can hear this flickering like it wants to shut off. But I feel like putting the sleeping pad inside of here, it's really crushing down like the loft of the sleeping bag so much. So I'm gonna have to switch out this propane cylinder within the next half hour. So before I do that, I'm gonna actually put the sleeping pad outside of the sleeping bag I know it's harder to keep it aligned with me, considering it's a mummy bag and a mummy narrow thing, but I really want to see if that makes a difference. Let's test this out and reevaluate in 20 or 30 minutes. I'm going to change this cylinder here. It's time to change the propane cylinder. My initial results, yeah, it feels warmer in here, except of course, due to the sketchy nature of nylon on polyester and moving around. Oh, fresh new heat, fresh new heat. Okay, a few more hours to go, then we can start the job of packing up. Good morning. It's about 8 o'clock. I'd like to sleep some more, but my toes are cold, of course, because that's what happens. And I can hear the last of the propane here flickering off and on. So, time to get packed up before it's too cold to do that. Yes. So it did get pretty frosty in here last night. As I'm packing up, my word of discouragement for everybody is don't do this unless you really got the equipment and experience, because these temperatures can be deadly if you're not quite equipped and if you go too far from a warm place. So don't do as I do. We got a little snow last night, but it held up pretty good. I can see where it's been melting here from the heater, but the roof didn't collapse, which is good. The ice fishing hut, when the snow builds up, the roof really does like to come down, but this is great. One of the neat things with this is they got these little screens that go on, and it's this camel print that you can see through, but from the outside, it's trickier to see in. So I'm going to set one of these up, and then I'll just show you guys from the outside how that goes. Well, as fun as it is to sit here and chat in the cold, I want to get back to the car, so do this. Kind of hard to believe in the summer I did it all with that little suitcase. And the final search for garbage reveals no garbage left behind by me or any I can see from other people that needs to be picked up. But there was a dusting of snow, so I can't really see what others may have left behind. Let's get out of here. Quick hike through the woods really warmed up the toes, so that's good. And I'm always worried about the car being towed or broken into or something, so just a phobia of mine, I guess. We got parts for the bus in the back of it, and we're going to be working on that this weekend. It warms up, so as always, I hope it's still there. stuff. Right. So, for now, thank you everybody for watching. If you like this type of thing, don't be shy to subscribe. I'm still accepting new subscribers for the moment. So, thank you all, and kind message is always nice, or even just a not mean one is really good. So thanks everybody. We will see you next Thursday. See you next Thursday.
Give me a hot pink cosmopolitan and some drama.
Well, hey everybody. Welcome to Camping with Steve. Just approaching a freeway here, and there's an interchange. So I'm hoping to slide into a green space here between the freeway and a slip lane and camp for the night. It is about rush hour right now, so traffic is fairly relentless, but there should be a break because there's a set of lights up ahead, and then we'll just dart across the slip lane and set up in the trees over there. Should have a break in traffic any moment soon here. Yep, let's go. Okay. And okay. So just going to stop right in here for the moment. And perfect. I think I'm pretty well hidden right here. But this is just the first stop. Gonna get this backpack off. And this looks like a pretty good spot. Okay, got that big heavy jacket off. I just couldn't fit it in the backpack, so I wore it. Look at these spruce trees. There is awesome coverage underneath these things. And most people are too busy tailgating each other to pay attention about what's going on in the green space here. Wow, this would be a real good one. Holy. That would take some clearing out, but it could be a good thing in the future. All right, just gonna wander around here a little bit. Looks like a pretty good spot. Right, I'm seeing trash here already. Looks like there may have been stealth campers over there that weren't too stealthy. It's like they probably got told to move along. And yeah, bunch of cleaning supplies, so they probably cleaned up their equipment before they packed up and moved along. So, oh, this actually looks pretty decent right here. Under here, I think this is arguably a better spot than the other one. I'm gonna go grab my gear and start making my way over here and give us some more camouflage. Between this spot actually and the other spot, pretty much a toss-up, except this one is real close to this lane of traffic there, and the other one's further away. So when a car comes careening off, it could squish me here, and the other one is just a little bit further away from those nice houses across the road. So we're gonna make tracks for that other spot. Let's go. Okay. Head on. Let's get into the cover of these woods. This is a fine spot, but it's a little exposed. So I'm gonna use this nice stuff. I have a couple different patterns. I'm gonna pick the one that kind of matches the spruce a little better. Let's see. That. This is the winner. And we'll just string this up along there. Then we'll take a peek from the outside and see what it looks like. I think we've got a small break. Nope, I was wrong. Okay, now looks like a good time. And from out here, from where the cars are going to be traveling, what do we see? Oh, that's perfect. The sun shines behind it a little bit, but we've only got an hour and a half of sunshine left, so that looks pretty good to me. The best thing about places like this is there's no sidewalks, no walking trails, and the traffic going by is going at freeway merging speed. So you'd really have to be curious about what's going on in the woods to pull over on a freeway on-ramp and check things out. So I think we should be in for a night of smooth sailing. So for today's shelter, I have to thank John S. for suggesting this, and anybody else who's suggested it, is a body bag. Actual medical grade body bag. You can get them off of Amazon for about $30. They're waterproof, so that's good. They got a zipper, so that's even better. And yeah, so tonight I'm just going to crawl into a body bag, and that should provide me all the shelter I need from the elements. Perfect. Just smells like a tarp. It doesn't have any gross medical smell to it. Tells me it's new. Good. Might be a little cold tonight, so I got this sleeping bag liner. Always a good thing to have. It'll add a couple of degrees warmth to this paper-thin sleeping bag. It is really soft here on all these spruce needles, but I'm going to use the sleeping pad for added insulation value. I originally thought that little automatic inflator was gimmicky and unnecessary, but after 6 inflations, it's still on those AAA batteries, and I have to say, I'm impressed. I always like tucking the sleeping pad into the sleeping bag. That way it doesn't twist around sideways on me, etc. Can't be Halloween camping without a mummy bag. I'll see myself out. Get the mummy bag in the body bag. There. And I think that calls for a step 2. Got this, there will be blood orange. Yeah. I'm not good at Halloween stuff, but I'm sure good at enjoying a step 2. Delish. Low alcohol too, 3.5%, because on a diet. Twilight is just beginning, so with the change in lighting, I'll take another peek from the outside, and then we're going to get some dinner started, because this will take a few hours at least. Well. Yeah. That's just fine in my opinion. Spooky Halloween-themed foods are tricky. Most of the recipes just seem to be decorating normal food as something spooky. The only one that I really wanted to eat that was suggested, the best they could do is a pun, and it's goulash, I know. So when I was out, I picked up this pot, believe it or not. It's the Sea to Summit X pot. And it pops into a pot, like so. So I couldn't pass it up because of its stealthy implications. However, I didn't realize you can't fry in it or saute or anything. It's strictly a boiling thing. That doesn't work with browning beef. So fortunately, I had a little tiny thing that I can brown up some beef, then we'll just dump it all in and boil it for hours. That's the way it goes. I had to bring my somewhat larger burner because this actually simmers appropriately. That rocket stove on the spaghetti did a number on the bottom of that pan. I'll tell you that. This one should be able to maintain a little more reasonable simmer. Unfortunately, I know this road noise is pretty annoying. There's not a whole lot I can do. I'm trying to time the shots in between the traffic and stay as close to the mic as I can here. But that'll subside here in an hour or so when the good people of the world are back with their families cooking their own goulash. Perfect. I can go later. Okay. Doesn't sound like a simmer. Ah, yeah. That's gonna do quite okay. Small batches to get them nice and brown. I found this recipe online, and it's an Instant Pot recipe, but it also had stovetop instructions. The Instant Pot ones said put it on saute or something, brown the beef, saute the veggies, then dump in all the rest of the stuff, push the button, and wait for a few hours. I could probably do a reasonable facsimile here. Smells good. Just got the last little bit of beef ground up here, and I'll deglaze the pan here with some concentrated beef broth and a little water. I like the concentrated stuff because that gives me the option, if I don't use all of it, to use it on a later meal. And pretty much then it's a boil fest for the rest of the night. Doing the one pot boogie, well, 2 pots, pan in a pot. It smells really good. Okay, and first spill of the evening. We're not going to push our luck any further into the main pot. And here we go, that worked out good. Let's start boiling up a bunch of stuff. Pull out the spruce needles. Veggies are okay, so mix of bell peppers. That looks to be a whole sweet Vidalia onion. It's okay. Oh, it's going to be a veggie laden. Oh, that's okay. Paprika. Can't go wrong with paprika. Smoked paprika. Had to buy it just for this occasion, so it's not even opened yet. Smoked paprika. Smoky. Right on. Okay. This is like the main part of the stew, so it looks like I'm really abusing the dish with the paprika, but it's not the case. It relies on this for the flavor. Now, tomato paste, although it looks like toothpaste, it's the perfect thing for camping. It's a little tomato paste. Ditto with the garlic. Salt and pepper we'll tweak later. For the most part, that's about it. It does want some flour, so give it what it wants. And in goes the rest of this concentrate. Yeah, the flour probably should have been done as a roux with the vegetables or whatever the case is, but it's camping, right? Not gourmet chef of the day here. Bring to a boil, cover and simmer, and then we'll adjust the recipe as taste dictates. This. All the hard work is done, and she's simmering. It's going to be great. It smells fantastic already. Across the main freeway there is a house with its lights on and a clear view of me. I didn't expect that side to be exposed, so I'm just gonna have to be careful. I don't think I have another camo tarp with me.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. America's #1 trusted paper towel.
60% of women experience side leaks with bladder protection underwear. Try Always Discreet. Its rapid dry core absorbs up to 25% faster than Depend and fits up to 95% of body shapes. Try Always Discreet, designed to protect.
Welcome to the ultimate playground for families to win and play it forward.
Orgain Creatine. It's good for your muscles and mind. Premium creatine monohydrate with 0 fillers or additives that supports muscle strength and power and brain health. Elevate your performance with Orgain Creatine.
The Nissan Armada. Everything worth doing is worth overdoing. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Nissan Armada, starting at just $57,520.
The goulash is simmering nicely, and it's a little darker, so we can kind of walk around here. There's the main freeway right here behind me, and this is the slip lane for the folks that want to get on the freeway going that way. And over here, there's the overpass thingy there for the folks that want to go that way down the freeway. And yeah, there's a lot of junk out here. Look at this. See? Irresponsible stealth campers. You can't just leave that stuff behind. The dinner is still simmering away, and there are a ton of invasive streetlights around here. As right behind me over here, there's that one there. There's all these over here, and I kind of think it's okay for me to turn on a small flashlight so I can see what I'm doing, because it shouldn't stand out with all these streetlights. Goulash is a meal that takes an awful lot of time to cook, so probably not your best meal to cook when you're stealth camping. All right, we're gonna head on over to that grove of trees and check things out. I don't even know. The body bag. Yeah, it's got 3 handles on each side. Then it looks like one in the front, probably one on the back. The zipper, there's 2 zippers, and it opens the whole thing up. So I'm hunkered down inside of here. The thing is waterproof, chemical proof. Of course, it's waterproof. It's kind of its job. But as morbid as it is, this is a pretty cool baby sack alternative. It actually packs up pretty quick and pretty small in the backpack. So, body bag. Well, this cooked down pretty good. I could have boiled it down a little more, I think, but that's pretty good. Might not look that good, but it sure does taste good. So I got these fresh baked tray buns, and we're gonna scoop some of this into there. And of course, I have to give a huge shout out to the beer donation folks. And I wish you were here with us right now. cracking delicious step 2. Oh my, I'm just spilling chunks of beef all over myself. But yeah, for all the folks that have donated, thank you so much. Wow. I probably shouldn't have cooked it so much without stirring it because it's a little bit burned, but certainly delicious. All right. It is time to crawl into the mummy bag. Then also zip myself up in the body bag. It feels warmer already. Excellent. And it's fine. No zipper on the inside, so I won't zip it all the way up. Right on. This body bag is cozy. I'm not zipping it all the way up for obvious reasons, but not quite tired yet, so I'm going to tell you a story. I don't get scared a lot. I'm scared of security guards and police and bears and heights, and that's about it. But I was camping once in my motorhome, and I pulled down to the bottom of this dam on Vancouver Island, and I camped for the night. I started a huge fire. It was gigantic, and I figured that would scare off any animals. And the thing was like 6 feet high, and I'd ended up going back into the RV and watching some shows, and then smack on the side of the motorhome. And there was nothing around. There was no trees. You know, I thought maybe, an owl or something had dive bombed it, which I've had before. But I turned on my flashlight, I went outside, and I looked around, and there was nothing out there. So I went back in, actually stoked the fire again, just to be sure that it was a big, powerful fire. And yeah, another 15 minutes later, bang, like it sounded like somebody's human fist smacking the side of the motorhome. And I didn't go out that time to look. I just kind of went to bed and said, I'm getting out of here in the morning. And when I went to leave in the morning, there was a fresh skiff of snow on the ground. And I couldn't see any footprints, but I could see depressions, like where the snow had settled over what would have been possibly footprints. But there was nothing anywhere near. So the best I could figure was it was some disgruntled old mountain man coming down that didn't like me camping in that campground, or yet to be determined creature. I did Google the place I was, and one of the first things that came up was a Sasquatch sighting in the area. But I'm a skeptic, so I don't know. But I got right out of there, and I don't plan to go back to, I think that was the Strathcona Dam, perhaps, on Vancouver Island. But all right, let's zip this up and get to bed. Not this scary stuff for tonight. Good morning. It's about 6:20 a.m. and believe it or not, the sun's not going to rise for another couple of hours. It's freezing cold, so I'm going to start packing things up and get out of here before the morning rush hour starts and before this condensation in the body bag gets any worse. I'll explain about that in a moment. Oh, it's chilly. Okay, so the deal is body bags don't breathe because it would be absolutely, totally, completely disgusting if they did. Now, I figured that the amount of perspiration coming off of me wouldn't be a big deal. Oh, very wrong. This sleeping bag is like saturated. Look at that. Because it is right around freezing, so 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. And as soon as any of that perspiration hit the cold outside of this body bag, yeah, it actually is a lot worse than nothing at all. So I'm going to start packing this stuff up, get out of here as quickly as I can. Awesome. All cleaned up, and we are out of here. Oh, wow, there was a frost last night. This grass is crispy. But like my mom always said, don't use a body bag when you're stealth camping or the condensation will become a problem for you. It's an old family saying we had. So I'm just gonna sneak across this slip lane back to the car, and I think it's time to get something hot to drink. Okay, looks good. Let's roll. Just as I left it. All right, the official reading is -3 degrees Celsius, or around 26 Fahrenheit. So that explains the coldness. And yeah, I didn't bring my big, powerful sleeping bag because it had lofted for so long that I couldn't even fit it in my backpack. I need a compression bag to squish that right back down. But time for a tea, I do believe. And Monopoly's still on, so you know what that means.
I don't want to look at those. Can I get 3 today?
Oh, hey, could I get an extra large green tea?
Extra large green tea?
Yeah.
I take it?
Just as it is.
That's black, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Exit bill, please.
Thanks. So I had to make the decision. Do I try and just power through it until the sun comes up? Or do I get a bright and early start to the day? And, yeah, so here we are. Bright and early.
I get extra large green tea?
Yeah. On the debit. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Right on. So, early bird catches the worm. Here we go. can see she's making the tea right there. Perfect. So yeah, that was actually kind of a boring stealth camping as far as stealth camping goes. It was informative though to learn how the body bags perform. Poorly. Thanks. And that's the way it goes. If it's a good stealth camping spot, it normally means it's a boring video. There's nobody walking around. There's no dogs coming by. Nothing like that. So I do apologize for the lack of me frantically trying to hide from people. But that's just a sign of a good location. And yes, if you do like these videos or you find this unique, interesting, or something you would consider watching again, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I've got a big list of stuff to do today, so I'm going to get at it. But thank you all for watching, and hunker down at home, and we'll see you guys next week. We are going to be hitting the road, hitting the highway, so there's going to be a lot more adventures to come. Cheers, everybody.
With 12 grams of protein per serving, Quaker is your ace in the bowl. Quaker, bring out the good. Gravity Defier for life. Imes for life.
Hey everyone, welcome to Camping with Steve. We're at the edge of town here today in a new neighborhood with a ton of construction work going on all over the place. And I think there's a little spot that just might work. So we're gonna wander over there, got the car parked out of the way so nobody suspects a thing. And I'm gonna get this big backpack off and hidden here ASAP. And it looks like it might rain a bit, so things could get interesting. I have found that newer neighborhoods haven't quite cracked down on all the good stealth spots yet, largely because they're still under development. Clearly, fence in an actual construction zone is a no-no because they're riddled with security, and it's also just plain dangerous and highly illegal. However, there seems to be a good spot right up ahead that I've been scoping out. Where I'm looking is right there. Right on. Porta potty there equals one problem solved already. And there is nobody down this road because it's a dead-end road, aside from construction workers. But we'll see how many of them are in tomorrow because it is Sunday. Now, just gonna wander over there. Looks like these used to be small acreage homes, and the city has expropriated them, and now it will turn into apparently a future park of some kind. But considering it's already listed as a park, let's break it in. Let's duck behind here where no one can see and check things out. Trees are spaced really widely apart in here. And yeah, this was obviously somebody's old driveway. This is pretty concealed from the road. Big open space in here. And not a lot of spots to set up a hammock. And I anticipated that. So I just brought kind of a ground sheet, sleeping bag, etc. It's neat, but of course, I'm clearly not going to be using that humongous fire pit. There is nothing stealthy about that. And moving through to the last clearing here, there's a few rain pieces coming down from the clouds. There's the last row of trees right there. And on the other side of that is a high school. So it is the weekend, and in an effort to look as least creepy as possible, we're going to just avoid the whole school altogether and find somewhere to set up closer to that wonderful porta potty. About the best spot I've found is in through this little opening into these dwarf honeysuckles here. And nice nice level ground. Visibility kind of only from this side, so I can hang up some camo netting there. And this looks like it'll be a great spot. So with that said, I'm going to empty out what I can from the pack here, and we're going to go scavenge for some food, because the beauty of being in an urban environment is there are resources available to us. In order to cut down on the suspicion of the humongous backpack, I'm leaving most of the inexpensive stuff here under a little camo netting. I'll just bring with me valuables like the camera so that it doesn't disappear on us. And a lot of people are probably noticing, this isn't Thursday. What happened? Well, it's probably Sunday now, and we had a severe windstorm for 3 days or so. And despite having one of these little wind filter things on the camera, dead cat, you call it, it's not made of a real cat, but they have their limits. And I've done this before where I filmed the whole video in the wind, and the whole thing was just garbage. I had to use it for maybe B-roll, but I don't do a lot of B-roll, so I've been skunked before trying to film in the wind, so we just waited it out, and it's a nice calm day today. But let's still cover on this and get out of here, because I did hear some people laughing, playing in the park probably, who knows, people. Okay, I got that tucked away. Just going to take a little peek here, because I did hear some voices. I want to be sure that nobody's going to come around and try to take off with my stuff. But from here, as crummy of a job as I did of trying to disguise it, I think it looks okay. I'll just do one final little sweep of the area. Then we're going to go find some grub. And I'm getting thirsty, so I think you know what that means. All clear, or so I suspect. Time to let the hunting and gathering begin. Well, there's quite a quantity of restaurant options here. But I did bring the cooking equipment, so I'll try to make something. I'm sure it'll end up costing more and tasting worse than if I just got a sub from Subway. But where's the fun in that? Yeah, I absolutely hate bringing a backpack into stores because it makes it look like I'm going for gold in the World Shoplifting Finals. But it's going to work. Now I've got everything I need for a tasty meal in the woods. All right. Yeah, they got the plan up for turning this into a nice little park. However, I have the suspicion it is going to be at my access to where I'm going to be going into the stealth camping. There's somebody walking around, and anybody around here knows that the sidewalk goes nowhere, and I'm carrying groceries. So just pretending to be on the horn here until they wander on by. They're gone. Time for stealth. I think I am medically dehydrated, and it needs intervention immediately. See how quietly we can crack this beverage here. Just like we're sneaking a beer in the basement when we're teenagers. Well, that's a fail. Okay. Mom and Dad would be coming down the stairs right now to see what was happening. Although it's quite seasonable right now, 9 out of 10 meteorologists are in agreement that it's going to go down to about 5 degrees Celsius tonight, which is around 40 Fahrenheit, or refrigerator temperature. So I've got this wonderful new sweater thanks to Tom and Nadine, who showed up at my birthday party and brought it along. It's absolutely perfect. And thanks to everybody that showed up at the party and for bringing step twos and cards and all that great stuff. So what we're going to do is set up this little camouflage thing while we still got a bit of light. And from out here, that's perfect for anybody 20, 30 feet away. That's just fine. And there shouldn't be anybody this close anyways, because I haven't seen a lot of people around. Why do I always jinx myself saying something like that? shelter. I'm just going to do under the stars because it will be cold, but it shouldn't rain too much. And it does. Wonderful canopy of leaves here should protect me, keep me somewhat dry. Lord, please forgive me for my stealthy transgressions. Well, that bunk is sufficiently and stealthily set up, and we got another half an hour or so of daylight. So I'm going to use that remaining daylight time to enjoy the rest of my beer. And we're going to get to cooking in a little bit. It will be in the dark, but that's okay, because we've got our little light here, and there's enough areas that are away from anybody that we can comfortably cook here without stressing too much, as long as we don't point the light towards civilization over there. It's gotten a little darker for sure, and that aids the stealthiness factor. We're talking stealth level midnight here. Even if I did see that, I wouldn't walk over to see who's behind it. But let's see if I can get a peek of what's left of the sunset over across the edge of the city that's yet to be developed. Looks like it'll be a calm and peaceful night. I spoke too soon. The wind is whipped up. And I'm just going to secure this. Time for some steaks. I don't mean the yum yum type. I mean, stop this from going around. Wait. Okay, there's lightning. So we may have to buckle up and do some fancy camping here. I have no idea what's coming our way because the radar station here is going through upgrades. So the hourly forecast shows a little spattering of rain here, possibly in the next hour or two, and then it looks clear sailing after that. But in the event that it does start to come down a little bit, I've got garbage bags with me for picking up some garbage, which there is plenty, and we can rig them up a little bit to try and stay dry.
Oh. Turn your pastime into your full-time. Your personal style into your signature brand. Do it yourself. Create your website on Wix.
Oh! You better be playing.
Okay, that didn't work well. We've got, seems like hail coming down. Trying to cover things up. That rolled in quicker than I thought. And it's kind of I got this tarp. I got a tarp here. I'll put on top of that. And okay, so basically, I'm just gonna hunker down as much as possible here. This wonderful hailstorm. We didn't get any storms all summer, but yeah, being underneath of a tree is about the best place you can be in this situation. I'm kidding. However, let me see. What do I got? Okay. Great. Oh yeah. Now you're camping with Steve. Okay. Okay, garbage bag to the rescue. All right, we can do this. Okay, we've got my garbage bag poncho on right now, and we're just gonna kind of wait for all this to blow over in some ways, hopefully. And of course, yeah, I'm just gonna have to hunker down here because this is, oh yeah, this is a little bit more severe than I was expecting. And 9 out of 10 meteorologists are incorrect tonight. Seems to be dying down a little bit, the rain at least. Oh my. This is quite the unexpected situation. Wow. It is certainly blustery, and it's supposed to be very, very cold tonight. So I hopefully got the sleeping bags as waterproof as I can. I gotta try to find shelter under somewhere a little bit more sheltery, shall we say. Let's go see if we can find one. It seems pretty dry under this tree. I'm just gonna kind of stay close to it, as dangerous as that is. But most of these storms on the prairies are short-lived, and we'll hope it blows over and we can get back to the comfy, hopefully dry sleeping bag. So we've clearly had a late summer splasher here, and that's okay. We got food to make. Hopefully I've stayed dry enough and we can come up with a really, really horrible version of chicken chow mein. You know it's good when it comes in a dried packet like this, which says chow mein on it. Now this does feature a cooking package with the chow mein spice. There's actually a couple of them here. I'm not going to mess with that today, but I will add in my own flavoring here. A package of chow mein noodles, which look just like ramen noodles, but probably with different spices. I'm going to dump in a can of chicken breast here. Some chunks of chicken in there. Stir it up a little bit. Look how healthy I am. I got vegetables. When you get Chinese food, or takeout Chinese, not the authentic stuff, it comes with that weird gray sauce, which makes everything so delicious. Probably 90% MSG, which is good. This is the one I use. This cumin stir fry sauce. Cumin. But in lieu of the flavor packets in there, I'm gonna, oh, that was a lot. Okay, so a third of the bottle in there. What could go wrong with that? It's looking like mediocre ramen to me, but the secret ingredient is sesame oil. It does impart a flavor, so give a little bit this time. Yeah, it's a lot, but put this up in there. I'm ready to try this ramen soup chow mein thing. A little different than I expected it to be in my imagination, but no, that's actually very edible. This did a great job, by the way. Garbage bags, always something to bring with you. And I have to say, at this point, I need to give a huge shout out to all the beer donation people. Got a couple of sleeping bags, so that's pretty good. And I think from an initial
From an initial review of getting into this thing, it seems pretty good. So, thank you all for suffering through my hackneyed attempt at camping, and we'll see you in the morning. Cheers, everyone. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. I can do this. Good morning. There is no happiness quite like that of a poorly prepared stealth camper that lived through the night. So, yeah, that was actually perfect. The perfect amount of sleeping bags. They were a little bit wet, but I stayed nice and warm through the whole night. Got back into my my clothes, and I gotta pack this up and get somewhere warm and dry and get a hot coffee. Just like so. This stuff's available from any hunting store. It's just this camel cloth. It's got little leaf shapes cut out of it. It's good stuff. Works for this job. Right on. All packed up. And we got this little garbage bag. We're gonna find a few pieces of garbage here on the way out and take them with us. I know they're gonna be leveling this place in by next fall. This will be leveled and turned into a park. A nice fancy one probably with a fountain. But I'll tell you one thing it won't be good for: stealth camping. So I'm glad we got this done before the park gets destroyed and turned into a arguably nicer park. But this is one thing I won't move, is they've staked out a gas line there. So here we go. So yeah, if anybody sees me out here picking up garbage, they'll just assume I'm completing some court-ordered community service hours or something along those lines. So, anyways, if you happen to like these videos, please don't be afraid to subscribe. It does help. And if you are subscribed and they're just not doing them for you anymore, I won't be offended if you unsubscribe either. It's a two-way street, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll get out of the woods here, and we'll see you in a few days here. It should be. I'm just going to head back out to the acreage and get this all uploaded. So happy Sunday, everybody. We'll see you next week. And okay, we have successfully left the woods and back into what someone calls civilization. We'll see you next time.
The heat on this planet is unbearable. Ooh, Viva! Just one sheet is soft enough to wipe my sticky slime right off her skin. So soft and durable for a cloth like Bean. Feel what Viva Cloth can do.
Random Adventures 2.0 already. What are we doing? Well, we're going to be camping here overnight. Yep. And the reason being is we got snow. As you can see, it was snowing pretty hard just a little bit ago, but now it's slowing down and it's going to slowly transition to sleet and then rain. So why not a better time, right? So Alpine Warrior had gotten me a one Tigress tarp. So I plan to use that today, and I've got to get that set up here pretty quick before it rains. But snow's coming off the hemlocks. So I think it's going to be fun. All right. So, yeah, and we also got the hammock that's different. So we got a different hammock, and we're going to use the O-Life under quilt and top quilt. So we got a lot going on. I got to get this backpack off. All righty, here we go. So this tree, I'm liking. I don't know if I'm going to go with this tree and that one over there or that one over there. I don't know. I got to get this backpack off, and then we'll figure that out. So what I did here is I just ran my paracord from tree to tree. That's going to be my ridge line for my tarp. I wanted to get one underneath of it because we're expecting so much rain later, and also the snow coming down off. I don't want to just tie the tarp up with the ends or run the ridge line across the top because I don't want any bowing like I've had in the past. This is my first attempt at this tarp, so I don't know. We'll see if this is the best way, but I'm kind of thinking I might do a couple press-it knots to do the tarp. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna check it out. All right, so I've got this S-clip here, and then I've got a little piece of that Kevlar, and I'm just gonna put that on. I'm gonna leave this little piece of paracord on the end just so I can see it. I'm gonna get that tied on here. We're gonna do a Persic knot. I think that's what it's called. It helps if you're a little taller. So with these, you just go around 3 times with the one end, and then you're gonna pull it through. That allowed you to slide stuff. Get this hook off. On the other one. All right. So the idea is you can slide this up and down like this, but when there's tension on it, look at that. It's tight. So we're gonna hang our tarp with the snake skin. The snake skin the dentist got us. Let me pull you down here so I can see you. All right. So we're gonna grab the snake skin with the new one Tigress tarp in it, and we're gonna hang it up between those two hooks and pull it tight. All right, here we go. You see the S hook that I've got, and then it just goes up, and then that's the Persic knot. All right, it's hard to focus. I don't know if I focus on that or not. But anyhow, there you go. So like I said, it's just slides, but then if you give it a tug, Look how this cinches down. Ah, that's nice. All right, let's get our tarp up. So I went ahead and unraveled all that. I didn't have you on because I actually fell and hurt my hand a little bit. So I tripped over that log right there. All right, so I went ahead and got the tarp over top of the ridge line, and I pulled that tight. Now I got a cam jam on the other end down there. I'll show you that in a little bit, but that's how I can pull it nice and tight. So it was sagging a little bit. I'd give that a little cinch, and then it's right up top. So now with the cords, I went ahead and put cords on at least 4 of corners. And what I did is I wrap it my way so that I never get any tangles. Let me show you that. So as you can see, I've got little ends on these tarps. So I just run guy line, and then I just get here and I just pull it right out and just unravel it. There you go. So you'll see it at the end here. You can see it's just folded over. So all I did was I just folded over, make a little hole right here, right? And then I just run my line the whole way up around. Usually I double it. So I run this guy line all the way up, run it through, and then I just stick the end through this hole. And then when I pack it away, when I get here, it looks like this. And it's all ready to deploy. I just pull this string out through this hole and then just unravel the tarp. Pretty cool. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. No tangles. No tangles. So I'll unravel this one. We're going to run that one out over to that tree. But I got to find a spot for this one here. We might have to go to the ground because, like I said, it's going to be raining later. So I'll get this all pitched out the way that I want it. Like I said, it's going to take me a minute because I've never done this one Tigris before, but so far I'm liking it. So also I keep attached all these little pegs right to the end, right with the snake. I keep it all together. So let's run this out over here. Hopefully I can push this into the ground. Nice little clip here to fasten it with. So I like that. It just snaps down to get that nice and tight. So in the pegs are real sturdy pegs. I like that. of the stake. So like I said, these steaks that come with this, they're nice and solid. They're nice and they're good. Good steaks. Very heavy. Heavy. Like it. So we are still getting snow, still coming down. And then we're getting off the trees as well. So we get our tarp completely set up. Boy, that's going to be nice. Yeah, and just pull this guy line nice and tight. I like it when it's got a little lock. Perfect. Oh, man. Keep tripping over that little branch. All right. All right, let's get the other end. You know what? I kind of like this. Big tarp. I'm liking this. So I could probably tie these two pieces together here. I think the hammock could run through there. Well, if it gets too cold, maybe I'll try that. This other corner's done. I could probably put a trekking pole out across there too. Yeah, stake to the other side. Ah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Boy, that's nice. I have never been able to get that other tarp even close to being like this. That is great. And I've got so many more tie outs. So I believe I counted 19 spots that I can tie up on this hammock. So I've got this one out that way, a little high with a slope going down, because when it starts raining later, I want the water to run to at least that far corner and not here, and then maybe come through the tent site or hammock site. All right. Okay. That's that. Now for the hammock. I've never set this hammock up. Dennis sent me the hammock. It's a eagle nest, double nest, eagle nest outfitters, and it's a double. So it's gonna be fun. Okay, so you can see on this side I've got 3 tie outs, and I ended up dropping this corner right here down only because the snow that's coming off these hemlocks is just heavy. So I thought I better drop it down like this so that it slides off easier. All right, let me get the hammock out. So this is the Eagle Nest Outfitters hammock, and it's got buckles. So I did set it up in the studio. I was gonna take a picture of it. I had screws in the wall and ran it you know, I couldn't fully set it up, but I at least hung it to kind of see what all was in here. But Dennis sent a fully geared up hammock. So it's got the straps and the buckles. It's in this little bag. So I got the dry bag, the hammock out. So it is really nice. Now, Dennis did send a bug net, and you saw that on Mail Monday. But he did send a bug net along with it. But we're not going to use the bug net. I don't think there's going to be any bugs or spiders out here today. But like I said, he said this goes around the tree, the buckle. He said provided a little strap. He said sets up in seconds. Well, minutes, but it sets up quick. So I'm going to unscrew this carabiner, get it around the tree, and walk it over there to the other side. Oh, that snow coming down off there. Oh, that's a lot of snow up there in those trees. Yeah. Now I picked two trees that were pretty darn far apart, so it's gonna take me a second to get this going. So with these buckles on the end, you just kind of pull them and give them a quick snug, and you can adjust it between the trees. So I've got a nice vestibule here down at this end that got the hammock up. So I think I could adjust the tarp just a little bit in one direction, and that's the nice thing with those sliding knots. I can slide the whole tarp down that way if I want to. But so far, I'm thinking this is pretty good. Yeah. See what this feels like. Oh, look at this ridge line, nice. And then this one wind to hold some gear in here. Oh, this is nice. That came from Dennis as well. So finally, I got a ridge line that I can hang it up on. Nice. Oh yeah, so this is a double. So I get slid down here. That's neat. So give us sit. Oh, nice. So I've got this really strung out. But boy, is this comfortable. I don't want to swing my roof up here, but yeah, boy, I'm glad we got this tarp up. Glad we got it all set up. And so I got to get the underquilt out and get that set up next. All right. So you can see I just got my vest on right now, only because I was working and I'm getting warm, but you can see down here in the snow. See all those little drops? Well, those are raindrops and stuff because it's starting to turn to rain. So I have got to make sure there's some water drops running down the tarp. All right. So I've got the tarp set up, and I've got the hammock and the underquilt. So this is going to be home for tonight. All right. So you can see I got the backpack there. I do have my old tarp that I could put on the ground. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I'm probably just going to go ahead and set the chair up over here, and maybe we'll start cooking. All right. Yeah, so I brought along the Life top quilt. So I'm gonna throw that in the hammock here. Now I'm gonna work on that chair. All right. There we go. Now I didn't bring the sand cover because the ground's pretty frozen, so my feet on the chair won't sink into the ground. So I decided just to cut weight. I would leave that at home because there was a couple more things that I wanted to bring out with me today that were a little bit more important to have. Like I've got, even though I brought that O-Life top quilt, I brought my other one just in case because I know how that will work in the weather. I don't want to be stuck out here freezing with the top quilt that doesn't work. All right. So there's our chair. So it's nice just to sit here and, like I said, listen to the rain on the tarp. There's a lot of snow coming down off these trees. I'm glad I got this tarp up when I did. I'm still getting a little bit of cooling of water on this one end because I have the trekking poles just sort of holding up this corner a little bit just for right now. Yeah, as much as they're calling for rain, I think we're not gonna see any snow come morning. I think it's all gonna melt. It's gonna be a wet mess. So, like I said, this is a good test for the tarp. And like I said, I had that trip last week in that snow, and I was a little ill prepared for that. Yeah, not that it didn't go okay, but it could have been better. Now today, so this is a different story. So definitely got, starting out with snow, now getting into rain. That's another experience, right? All right. So I'm gonna finish getting this table set up, and then I gotta boil some water for some coffee. Yeah, I know. I'm saying, come on, spring. Yeah, I don't care for winter. I don't like being cold. But, oh man, I would love to be out in Arizona right now. That I would. So we're gonna set our table up right here in front of us. That way we can get the position right. That way we can do all of our cooking right here. I've got some ramen noodles and some different stuff to cook. Yeah, I had planned on making a fire, but then when I heard it was going to rain, I didn't think I'd have any firewood. But I could have probably, while it was snowing yet, I could have pulled dead branches off of the tree. The legs out. So you saw this one on Mail Monday. Old Crack-A-Dated sent me this flamethrower, so I brought it out because I want to use this one to cook with today. And I'm thinking it's going to heat up water pretty quick with that. Oh, and that's got a nice base. Sets that pot right on it. Yeah, you can see my breath. Perfect. All right, let's get some water made for a coffee. So this is supposed to have a little wind baffle on it. Supposedly windproof. Warm them hands up. Oh. Hot, hot. Yep. Got a pine needle floating around there. We don't want any pine needle tea. Not yet. We're having coffee. Some things don't change. I'm having coffee with this. Emma Brown got me this French press. Oh, I've been drinking it every day. Every day. Man, that water's boiling fast. Man, that is a turbo burner. Whew. It's nice. That heat, too. All right. So, I already got the beans in here. I've got to crank it and grind up some more beans and then get that in the pour it into the cup. Now we're going with the number two, which is espresso. So we're gonna go with that number 2, and we'll get that poured into the cup. Then we'll pour our water. That water's already boiling. That's fast, 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 fast. Yeah, let me show you. Oh, I just turned that on. I don't want to boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut that off. All right, finish cranking these beans. This is nice. This is really nice. So then, screw the bottom off. Smells good. Look at all those grinds in there. So, like I said, that's on number 2. We're just gonna pour that right in the cup, right in this travel mug. Boy, I put a lot in there too. That's gonna be nice and strong. Rubber grip. And we're just gonna pour that, put that close to the top. Oh. There. And then we're gonna let it sit for about 3 minutes, and then we'll push it down. But there's that rubber gasket on there. Nice. You know, let that sit for 3 minutes. So far, so good. So far, so good. Looks like everything's staying dry. Water's running off the tarps. The tarp, you see it's definitely running right off the tarp. So that's a good thing. And it was a winter wonderland. Now it's going to be a winter swampland. All right. Pretty soon I'm going to have to put my knit hat on because there is a breeze a-blowing. So got my food bag here. So you can see pistachios in there and some chicken bone broth, some olives, some ramen noodles. So put this unzipped. I already did. Oh, and we're gonna throw some. This is a rice ramen noodle. All right. Put that in there. Put one of these ramen noodles in. So that's that brown rice and millet flour. So we'll do that. Then John from down in Louisiana, he sent us some Louisiana products. And one of them is this Louisiana salt-free Louisiana Cajun seasoning. So that's going to go in the pot. All right. What do we got here? So yeah, some olives. That one day we went to the car lot and I put them olives in there. That was good. So we got that. And then I am gonna put these pistachios. So we're gonna put these pistachios in. So we're gonna get everybody mixing. So we're gonna do that in this pot here. So we're gonna cook it right in the pot. So I know usually I do it in a bag, but I want to boil some water. Do it right in the pot. We got that burner right here. Very nice. So our coffee's almost done. So I might drink that a little bit, warm up before I start this start dinner. It's starting to get a little dark. All right. So I just opened this chicken bone broth, chicken bone broth. I got some of the powder on my lips and it tasted good. So I am going to go ahead and pour that into the pot. I think I'm going to add this stuff periodically, but I want to get that in there because that is, a nice broth. All right. So, like I said, my coffee's done. I got to get that going here. I do want to get this water boiling. So while we're drinking our coffee, I was thinking about it. If I can get this boiling and going while we're eating or while we're drinking our coffee, this will be good. Put the rest of it in there. You can't have too much liquid right now. That's for sure. Because if once that gets hot, if that's too soupy, that's all right with me. Because we'll just drink that broth. It'll be nice and warm. Yeah. Tart's holding up good. I'm happy with it. I am happy with it. All right. Fire this baby up and our old crackedated burner. Now it has an electronic starter on it, but I'm just using the lighter. Ooh, that's coming down. Aha! Got my spoon. Boy, that chicken broth smells good. Wow, that's going to really cook fast. This is that brown rice noodle and millet, or brown rice and millet noodles. Now, this one is a rice ramen also, and this might have a flavor packet in it. I've never had one of these. I'll just press it up a little bit. A flavor packet in it. So, I'm gonna dump these in there. So this is made with organic rice. You can see there's a little bit different of a color on them. So they're more of a greenish color. And I am gonna taste this packet because I'm not sure what else on here. I just want to see what it tastes like. So I'm gonna crack it open. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stick with my plan. I am gonna put this Cajun seasoning in it. Because I already know what this tastes like. And John, this is good. Good stuff. This is salt free too, so even though I'm putting a lot in, it's salt free. So that's a good thing. Oh yeah, you can get it right to the pour spout and pour it in instead of sprinkle it in. So I was pouring. Get that back in the bag so I don't lose it. Yeah, so we got that flame turned way down there. Clean up my trash. Throw the lid on that. It is really boiling quick. It's steaming a lot. But then again, it is cold out here. But I'm going to regulate this little knob and get this down to the lowest I can go without turning it off. So I just want this to simmer for a minute. All right, let's get that lid on. Okay, now for our coffee. Right, you can't see in there. Yeah, you can't. But I am gonna push this down. And that's gonna be hot. Ah, look at that. Ooh. That is good. I tell you, there's nothing like a fresh ground beef. Nothing like it. That's good. That's good. So, this has been one crazy year, right? So, we're almost done with it. It's going to be New Year's Eve in a couple days. So, you're seeing this on Thursday night. And come Saturday night, we're going to be doing the ball drop at the instead of Sunday Night Live, it's going to be Saturday Night Live at the studio. So we're going to do that. But this is, like I said, it's been a pretty crazy year, and I want to thank you for coming along. Yeah, I mean, in March we had our stroke, and we're still on the mend from that. We're still recovering, but hey, we're still getting out and doing stuff, right? And I'm just really thankful that I can. So, boy, that's smelling good. Yeah, but I want to, if you've hit like, if you've commented, if you hit subscribe, and you've become a part of the 2.0 family, I want to thank you. If you just watch and never hit like or never comment or anything like that, I still appreciate you. Really do. Yeah, I don't know what 2023 is going to hold, but I'm looking forward to it. It's got to be better than 2022 for me. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, that meal's smelling good. I'm going to take a quick look at it, stir, things like that. All right. Bring it back on in a minute. I think the noodles are still a little bit hard yet on the one that we put in second. But I think, oh, look at that burner, burn it. Boy, that makes you think, eat, feel good. So I am going to go ahead and add the olives. So these are olives, green olives with garlic. All right, you saw that on Mail Monday. And I'll I've already sent these along. So they are already fitted, and we're just gonna drop them right in the pool. No warning, just right in. Just drop them in there. Oh, still one in there. Oh yeah, you can see them out floating around in there. So I'm gonna get that back up on the onto the heat and just keep cooking that for a little bit. Yeah, them noodles are just a little bit hard yet. So one of the other things that I'm gonna put in there is these pistachios. Throwing them on the floor. every time the water runs off these tarps, it's like shh. It makes me look because it sounds like somebody's coming, but nobody should be coming. There's a parking lot right down there, but I don't think with that snow that was on the road, and it snowed so fast, and they hadn't really been running the plow yet. I was fortunate to be able to get down here before it really got heavy and hard. But yeah. Okay, so we got our pistachios. So I am going to throw the pistachios in right now and put them in there too. And I think that's all of it. That might be everything that we brought. I got breakfast, but I think that's it. Yep, that's everything. Yep, there's nothing else to put in there. So I didn't bring any tuna or anything like that. Like I said, just kind of going a little simple and healthy on that with that Cajun spice. I can't wait to taste that. Oh, that coffee's good. Yeah. Let me turn it around so you can see. Alright, so there's our soup. Yep. So it is warm. You know, probably the reason I decided to cook it in the pot is because on that last, not the last video, well, the last video I did that backpacking meal right on track. Right on track. That was a really neat meal where you cooked it in a pot instead of in a bag. And then the week before, I had that Mountain House meal that I stuck up my shirt and it ended up almost became a bear lick overnight because it leaked and it leaked all over my shirt. And I thought, you know what? I put it in my shirt to keep me warm. But I'm huddled over this soup right now. I'm glad I put a lot of water in because I'm going to drink that. I've still got some coffee left, but that smells good. Yeah, that bone broth in there, you can really smell that. Like I said, I've got those pistachios in there. Like I said, it's a pretty interesting combination with that Cajun spices on there, but we'll see how it tastes. Get a little spoonful. So I'm going to go right in with the noodles and an olive. Wait, maybe I can't say that. Somebody else says that. Oh, what can I say? I don't know. It is good. It's good. Yeah. So on there you can see the pistachios. that is delicious. So we got that Cajun spice. That is good. John, thank you. That's all the way from Louisiana. So that's good stuff. Yeah, that is really good. So rice ramen noodles and that other stuff we put in there. I think that's going to be a good good go-to from here on out. It is hot. It's nice and warm too. Yeah, I think I'm okay with washing this pot out if it's going to keep me warm. That's for sure. I don't know how hard it's supposed to rain, but when I look at the weather report, it's just every hour it's like 98%, 100%, 89%, 99%, 97%, every hour on the hour up through tomorrow. Now, tomorrow evening. And that's one of the reasons why I'm out here today, because you know it's warming up a little bit, but we've got a serious cold front coming through, where it's only going to be 2 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. So I think 8 degrees is the next night Fahrenheit. So that's what negative 13 Celsius. So, man, that's going to be some sub-zero cold, you know, on the Celsius side, but 2 degrees. But, you know, there's places around here in the mountain that'll drop below what it says it's going to be. It'll be less. And I'm not set up to do that type of weather. Maybe in the car. Maybe we do a car camp. So what? Minus, I can put on the thumbnail, minus 26 degrees Celsius. Oh yeah. No, it'll be -2 though. That's crazy. That's cold. That's definitely cold. All right. So I'm gonna sit here, eat this. I guess enjoy the sounds of the rain on the tarp. No, that is relaxing. Definitely is. Man, look at all the moss on the trees. This is a nice spot. Yeah, that wind is definitely picking up. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more of this in there. This stuff's good. It definitely is, and it's spicy too. It's not too spicy, but you can taste the spice in it. Now he also sent a black pepper and white pepper Cajun seasoning, which I'll be using on another video, but only one at a time. Can't do too many. But I also had a bottle. Can I bring that? I also brought a bottle of Tabasco sauce. I love Tabasco sauce. So mix this around. Oh yeah. I definitely kicked it up a notch. So adding a little bit more of that just gave it another little bit of flavor that I enjoy. It's nice that it's raining now instead of when it's dark. Because if it started raining when it was dark, and I'm not used to this tarp, we could have a scenario like last year when the tarp let loose at the one end and all the water got into the hammock. Now, remember I said I didn't think that tarp was really very long enough for that hammock. And it wasn't compared to this one. This one's a 13 by 10 tarp. And I've got it, I was at about 8 inches on that end, but man, I've got, gosh, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 feet on this end. Yeah, I could have set up over there a little bit, still been underneath the tarp good, but I'm like right in the middle. Well, a little offset from the middle, but I've got the trekking poles right there holding it up so I can see down through the mountain. And yeah, I'm just anxious to see what this is going to look like in the morning. Like I said, we're supposed to get rain all night. I keep saying that. So I am still eating. Now I had these gloves in my pocket. These ones. These are those polypropylene gloves. Your fingers are cold. They don't move right into the spots. But I didn't want to get these wet, so I kept them in my pocket. But now that I'm sitting, I'm just eating. We can do that now. The gloves that I wore in, you saw me, those black gloves, that's a rubber glove that actually I was using. Probably the first time you saw, the only time you saw me using that would be about last December, when I was at about this time, maybe a week earlier. I was at a creek, gold panning, and I had them gloves on, and we had some pretty rough weather, but that was a nice little spot. Gold pan. I actually got some, what do you call that? Petrified wood. I'll have to show that on Sunday Night Live or something like that one of these days. But yeah, I got petrified wood and some other really neat minerals out there. And I did get a speck of gold that day, a couple specks. But, that's at Rock Bottom Creek. That is filled. When your hands are cold, it's hard to get gloves on. I don't have it quite pulled up enough. But they're going to have to do for now because I got to finish this. All right. Bring it back on in a bit. All right. So, dinner was good. That was actually really, really delicious. I wish you could have tasted that, but hey, try it sometime. All right. So nice thing with that travel mug, kept that coffee warm. All right. So one of the things that I found out, gloves. I cannot do stuff with gloves on. All right. So when I say I can't do things, I can't operate my record and camera work. So that's why I always say, oh, I can't do my camera work. But I think I found a solution. So I can touch the button and it doesn't turn it on. So a little while ago, after I put the gloves on, I'm like, man, turn off. I'm doing it like this. And finally, I'm like, that's it. I'm not taking my gloves off right now to turn this phone off. So I grabbed it, the tripod, and I pulled it up to my face, and I hit my nose on the stop. And to start this recording, I hit it on the camera, my nose, the tip of my nose, it's like a finger, I guess. Tip my nose to started the recording and then set it down. So I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna use my nose and then turn it back on. Yeah, that's funny. You can use your nose. So tip of the day. If you have gloves on and you cannot work your phone, Don't spend the money on those expensive gloves that allow you to touch the screen. Nah, use your nose. Oh, the Canadian beaver. Follow your nose. All right, I'm gonna turn it off again. This is fun. Yeah, I'm standing underneath the hemlock here, but I walked away from the hammock and canopy tarp and everything so I can do a little bit of a pan here and show you what the site looks like. But there's where we're hanging. Yeah. That looks like a nice rock down there in the woods, right straight ahead there. Pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of hemlocks on this hill, on this mountainside. Yeah, you can still hear the rain. Like I said, I don't know how steady it's supposed to be, but it's steady. Or how hard it's supposed to be, but it's definitely steady. Yeah. It's going to be hard to hear any deer or anything like that in the woods because of the snow. It always dampens their footsteps on the leaves because all the leaves are covered. You can see right here where I'm standing, it's a nice spot under some hemlocks where it's not real snowy and it tapers out. All the snow that should be where I'm standing up in the tree. So there's some big hemlocks. Yeah. Here you can see the little patches. Yeah, that wind's definitely picking up. Definitely picking up. So I have a hand in my pocket. So I didn't use my nose to turn it on this time. I got my finger out. But yeah, you can see. Winds are blowing. Yeah, I don't want to get too wet standing out here, so I'm going to get back under our tarp.